So the conscious industry, the aim of the book was to bring awareness to green energies and sustainable energy practices in small businesses. Would you actually just tell us a little bit more about that?
The Conscious Industry is actually a second book in a series. It began with the Conscious brand in 2009. And essentially it's Ogilvy Earth's way of presenting a sector message, being from the communications sector, to business to say we're dealing with a different story. And that story is about sustainability, which is about environmental, economic and social governance. But it's told in a way that makes it so less scary. So I'll take you through some of the features of the book. You have CB, who is our main character, and he comes from the Conscious brand, the original Conscious brand. And one day he stands up and he realizes that what's going on in the world in terms of unsustainable business practices actually can't go on. So it's meant to be lighthearted. It's meant to be a Dr. Seuss story because these issues are incredibly difficult for people to understand in one foul swoop. So we've used a funny, happy story that appeals to children as a way of communicating to adults who need to understand that shifts can take place and they can take place effectively. So as you go through the book, he goes through a process of realization, of understanding and acknowledgement of the practices around the world that are not necessarily aiding and abetting businesses of the future. It's got some lovely little pop-up elements. And a client of mine actually says it's her child's favorite book. So it's meant for everybody to tell the story of how we can move towards being more sustainable and conscious of manufacturing impacts, and essentially leading to the perspective of being able to tell a fundamentally wonderful story about change.
And are businesses recognizing the need to implement for their own reasons or for other reasons too, in terms of global reporting initiatives and other mechanisms?
Well, that's interesting because South Africa is always a late adopter. However, we've led very much within the reporting aspect from our top 100 companies. But we are seeing that the trends to include small and medium enterprises are going to be very much a thing of the future. And as one of our co-hosts spoke about today, it's about differentiation and reporting and correct reporting. I'm just trying to open this. There we go. Correct reporting enables businesses to see where they can differentiate and where they can improve their efficiencies, especially in terms of energy. So that is just an example of some of the illustrations that tell the story. And then we end with a wonderful manifesto. Which is really the essence of the stories, the beginning, the middle, and the end. This is the call to action of the story.
And Melissa, this is something that you are very passionate about. What other ways are you finding that we can get that message out to small businesses and industries to find ways to be green through energy, through their resources and through waste?
It's very much a collaborative story. We need to get together more business forums, more opportunities for, as we learned today, the WISP program, the Western Cape Industrial Symbiosis program. And I think the opportunities are for marketing and sustainability managers to talk more, because sustainability managers might be connecting with other service providers that are looking at energy efficiency and looking at what to do with waste, whereas marketing people might be running off on a tangent and doing something else. So it's an opportunity for us to collaborate, to work together in sectors and in industries and say, how can we improve the way that we do things to save money, to save energy, to save waste, and to continue evolving. So it's a never-ending story in a way.
Corporate social responsibility is something that you talk about in terms of it being part of your company, and also how you present that through communication. Are people taking both of them seriously enough?
I think corporate social responsibility has been a compliance box that's been ticked rather than something that can really extract value. That said, there are some amazing projects out there, but I've also heard of a lot of stories of companies putting in money because they have to and not really paying attention to the service providers who administer that money. Also, with our legacy of corruption, we have to be really careful how these funds are spent. The opportunity with the billions of rands spent in CSI is to really use it in an effective way that enables enterprise development, that is not just about handouts. And that's a really important aspect of the social side of what we talk about when we say sustainability.
We've just had this presentation of this book now, and it really does capture the spirit of the green movement. How do you see businesses acting on this and actually going forward?
It's there to provoke thought. I mean, the first phase of any campaign is raising awareness. So I'm hoping that with this book being launched today and being spread by the